Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from everyone's favorite Halo YouTuber. Wow, it's been a while since I've said that. What's the special occasion, you ask? Well, just the other day, the newest Inside Infinite update blog went live. This one focusing on the audio in Halo Infinite. And before you click away because you've seen tons of videos on this already, no, this isn't going to be a 20-minute video breaking down the blog. Rather, I have a boner to pick with these Inside Infinite updates. See, I was excited to have our monthly dose of infinite information from 343 themselves. I sat down, got to reading, and was about 4 paragraphs in when I realized that I just wasn't interested in the blog and closed the page. It's been a month since our last Inside Infinite update. I'm starving for infinite content, and here I am trying to force myself to consume it. And that's where my beef lies. I think the Inside Infinite updates are boring. It's outdated information that could have been released any time within the last few years and isn't really relevant to the home stretch of development. I assume this is an unpopular opinion based on this poll I ran, at least from the 141 people willing to waste their time on my irrelevant polls, but I can't seem to get behind it. I understand audio is an extremely important aspect of Halo, not just from a composition perspective, but also how sound design affects how footsteps and audio cues impact competitive multiplayer. But I just don't need to visually see the audio files being used in Infinite. The most exciting thing in this update was concept art for a new banished weapon called the Skewer. But it's nothing more than a few seconds of staring at it, saying, "That's cool," and moving on. It would have been much more impactful to see this weapon in action. We know it's a power weapon, so it would be cool to see if it's going to be as impactful in the game as a sniper rifle, or something less important like the Hydra launcher. Maybe I would be more interested if there was more of a visual side to these updates, if they were released as vidocs instead of blogs. But overall, I really think these updates will be largely ignored if we weren't so starved for any information on Halo Infinite over the past few years. I think the topic of discussion is at least partly responsible for my apathy towards this Inside Infinite update. I was infinitely more interested in last month's update on the world of Zeta Halo. But even then, the most exciting part of last month's update was again a screenshot of campaign gameplay. This was really cool to see, but after staring at the image for a few seconds, the novelty wore off. It just isn't enough to hold my attention. This game comes out in less than 9 months. The fact that screenshots are still our way of seeing the game is ridiculous in my opinion. For perspective, Halo 5 came out in October 2015, and in December 2014 we were playing the 3-week multiplayer beta. We literally already played the game at this point, albeit unfinished. And Halo 5 still released half a game, missing essential features and playlists like Forge and Big Team Battle, no social playlists, the list goes on and on. I know they told us not to expect anything big from these updates, and I haven't been expecting much, but it's still concerning how little we know about the game this close to release. At this point, it seems the flight tests are going to be running a couple months prior to release, with no time for 343 to actually take in feedback and make any significant changes. But back to the Inside Infinite updates. I don't need them to give us huge reveals or anything too significant in these monthly blogs, but I would much rather see updates on the development of Halo Infinite, where they're currently at, what roadblocks they're running into, why they made certain decisions, just things along those lines. I would read an entire book if they went into developmental issues or decisions like why they aren't including playable elites. You know, maybe they wanted to have elites and Spartans equal in multiplayer, but they were having trouble balancing the hitboxes with the way movement is in the game. So their only option was to go the reach route where elites and Spartans weren't equals, but that didn't fit the scope of their new unrevealed multiplayer game mode, and they simply didn't have enough time to figure out a way to make it work. That sort of information is so much more interesting and relevant to the game than watching them smash a piano. I just don't need a peer-reviewed study on the physics of sound waves in my Halo Infinite content. I want to hear about the removal of the Halo 5 Magnum, presumably for the battle rifle to be the predominant precision weapon in multiplayer. I want to hear about the ranking system, if it's 1 to 50 or ELO, and how a relevant XP rank can coexist alongside a seasonal battle pass, assuming they're going the seasonal battle pass route in this free-to-play multiplayer game. I want to hear about UI design choices, how Halo 5 fell short in that regard, and how they're planning to improve it in Halo Infinite. Maybe you think I am being nitpicky, but I just feel like there's so many better subjects to include on these Inside Infinite updates. We still have plenty more Inside Infinite updates coming prior to Halo Infinite's release later this year. Maybe future updates will grab my attention more than the previous 3 thus far. But at this rate, Microsoft's E3 press conference and the inevitable Halo Infinite multiplayer reveal can't come soon enough. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video. Later.